What's the worst British car ever made? That's a question that could start a proper pub argument, couldn't it? For decades, Britain produced some of the most iconic, beautiful, and innovative cars the world has ever seen. Think of the Jaguar E-Type, the original Mini, the Aston Martin DB5, or a stately Rolls-Royce. These are legends. But for every legend, there's a dark side, a cautionary tale of what can go wrong. And when things went wrong in the British car industry, they went spectacularly, epically wrong. Today, we're going on a journey to find the absolute nadir, the rock bottom of British automotive history. We'll sift through the rust, the electrical gremlins, and the questionable design choices to crown one car the undisputed champion of awful. Now, there are a lot of contenders for this title. You might be thinking of the Morris Marina, famous for its less-than-sturdy engineering. Or maybe the Austin Allegro, with its infamous square steering wheel and hydroelastic suspension that seemed to have a mind of its own. What about the Triumph TR7? The so-called shape of things to come that looked like a doorstop and was plagued by build quality issues from day one. These are all worthy candidates, each a special kind of disaster. But in my opinion, there's one car that stands head and shoulders below the rest. A car so uniquely dreadful, so fundamentally flawed in its concept and execution, that it has become a punchline for an entire era of industrial decline. I'm talking, of course, about the infamous, the legendary, the three-wheeled wonder of woe, the Reliant Robin. Now, before the Reliant Owners Club comes after me, let's be fair. The Robin wasn't entirely without its merits, at least on paper. Its three-wheel design meant it could be driven on a motorcycle license in the UK, making it an affordable and accessible form of transport for many people who couldn't get a full car license. Its fiberglass body didn't rust, which was a huge advantage over its steel-bodied contemporaries that seemed to dissolve in the British rain. And it was incredibly fuel efficient. So, what was the problem? Well, just about everything else. Let's start with the most obvious and hilarious flaw: the stability. Or rather, the complete lack of it. Having one wheel at the front and two at the back is inherently less stable than a conventional car layout. A slight misjudgment in a corner, a bit of enthusiastic steering, or even a strong gust of wind could send the Robin tipping over onto its side with comical ease. It's a flaw that's been immortalized in countless TV shows and films, most famously by Mr. Bean and Top Gear, where Jeremy Clarkson demonstrated just how easy it was to roll a Robin, time and time again. The driving experience was, to put it mildly, terrifying. The single front wheel, connected to a laughably direct steering system, would transmit every single bump and imperfection in the road directly to your hands. The engine, a small four-cylinder unit, was noisy, unrefined, and sat practically in the cabin with you, creating a deafening racket and filling the interior with heat and fumes. The brakes were barely adequate, and the handling, as we've established, was more of a lottery than a science. Driving a Reliant Robin wasn't just a journey. It was an extreme sport. Then there was the build quality. Oh, the build quality. While the fiberglass body shell was rust-proof, it was also flimsy. Panels would flex and creak. Doors often didn't fit properly, leading to leaks and drafts. The interior was a festival of cheap, hard plastic that would crack and fade in the sun. The electrics were notoriously unreliable, a common affliction of British cars from this era, but the Robin seemed to take it to a new level. It was a car that felt like it was actively trying to fall apart around you while you were driving it. But the Robin's biggest failure wasn't just its comical instability or its shoddy construction. It was what the car represented. It was a symbol of a make-do attitude, a rolling compromise that felt like a relic from a bygone era even when it was new. While car manufacturers in Germany and Japan were pushing the boundaries of engineering, reliability, and safety, Britain was still producing this three-wheeled oddity. It represented a failure of ambition. The Austin Allegro, for all its faults, was at least an attempt at a modern family car. The Morris Marina was a conventional, if poorly executed, saloon. The Triumph TR7 was a flawed attempt at a modern sports car. But the Reliant Robin, it was in a category of its own. It was a car that seemed to fundamentally misunderstand the basic principles of what a car should be: safe, stable, and comfortable. Let's compare it to some of the other contenders. The Morris Marina, for example, it was a terrible car, no doubt. Based on the ancient Morris Minor platform, it handled poorly, and the build quality was atrocious. Stories of brand new Marinas arriving at dealerships with mismatched parts were common. But at least it had four wheels. It looked, from a distance, like a normal car. You could take a corner in a Marina with a reasonable expectation of remaining upright. The Austin Allegro is another classic example of British Leyland's woes. Its Cortex square steering wheel was a universally hated gimmick. The Hydragas suspension was complex and prone to failure, often giving the car a saggy, defeated look. It was a car that managed to be both deeply uncool and deeply unreliable. Yet, it was a front-wheel drive hatchback, a modern concept for its time. The idea was there, even if the execution was a complete mess. The Reliant Robin, however, had no such redeeming conceptual basis. Its core design principle was a loophole in the licensing laws. It was a car built not on a vision of the future, but on a quirk of the past. It was designed to be cheap, and it felt it in every single way. From the agricultural engine to the wobbly handling and the kit car quality interior, it screamed budget from every pore. So, while the British car industry of the 70s and 80s produced a whole scrapyard's worth of duds, the Reliant Robin holds a special place. It wasn't just a bad car. It was a bad idea. It was a car that celebrated its own shortcomings and became a national joke. Its existence on British roads for so many decades is a testament not to its quality, but to the sheer determination, and perhaps the questionable sanity, of the people who drove them. It's the combination of fundamental design flaws, terrifying driving dynamics, laughable build quality, and the sheer embarrassment factor that solidifies the Reliant Robin's position. It's a car that fails on almost every metric you could use to judge an automobile. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, the single worst car Britain ever built. It's not just a car. It's a monument to failure, a three-wheeled tribute to how badly things can go when you cut too many corners, literally and figuratively. And yet, there's a strange affection for the Robin, isn't there? It's so bad, it's almost good. It has character. No one looks at a 10-year-old Ford Focus and smiles. But see a bright, orange, Reliant Robin wobbling down the road, and you can't help but grin. It's an underdog, a trike against the world. It's a piece of automotive history that reminds us that even in failure, there can be a strange, enduring charm. It's utterly terrible, but it's our terrible. And for that reason, while we crown it the worst, we also salute it. There will never be another car quite like the Reliant Robin. And for the sake of road safety everywhere, that's probably a very good thing. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think is the worst British car ever made? Let me know your pick down in the comments. I'd love to read your arguments. And if you enjoyed this trip down a very bumpy memory lane, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more automotive deep dives. See you in the next one.